Hello everyone. Another video. Hopefully not too bad today. But basically, as requested by many and kind of covered in my other videos, so maybe it's a bit redundant, is essentially this is what I'll call the battle of the rotating sliders. As you saw in my last unboxing, that was kind of the theme. Lots and lots of rotating sliders. Cats are fighting in the background. Don't worry about that. Let me just adjust this. Sorry about that. Yeah. So we'll just get going. Not much to say other than, mechanical rotation. I have included a few others that are in the same realm just to chat about, but I'm going to try and pick a top one today. So first, I'll just go by each brand. So I'll just quickly get them out of the way. So this is keyi. So this is 3D print. It's kind of interesting because this one actually slides. As I've mentioned a million times, I like low resistance and very, very smooth, easy to push. This is one of the best ones when it comes to that actual, it's so easy to push. For a mechanical 3D, although I think I've used like 2 mechanical 3D prints, this is the best for sure. Like this feels like a premium slider, but 3D, and it's cheap. But the issue with this, for me, is it's too loud. And like, it bothers me after a little while of use. So if and I've had my wife be like, yo, shut up with this one. So this one is actually loud, and I fidget all the time, and she usually doesn't say anything, but this one, she made a comment of like, please stop. So that's the one thing about that. Other than that, it's quite good. So for my keyi, this is definitely my favorite keyi, if that's even how you say the brand, but this is a PEI one. The PEI ones are now out of print, so sadly, if you reach out, you pretty much can't get one. So I got this on the secondary market, so this is just as someone who had it used. They decided to customize it with this particular finish, and if you check out my shorts, you can see that it's the UV glow. So it looks pretty sick when you put under glow, because then all the different colors come out. It looks really cool. I couldn't even get it that bright in my video because I'm only using my phone light to try and get it. But with the flashlight, it would look much better. But yeah, this thing is awesome. This is definitely the best of the 3, because this is the middle ground of the smoothness. So if I had to go from easiest to push to hardest to push, easiest, middle, hardest. And hardest is not even that hard. I'm just ranking them in that order. But yeah, this gets the most ping and smoothness, but then it's also not too loud. So it still gets some of that. Yeah, you can see there's a big difference on that volume, but yeah, this one is really great. And honestly, aesthetically, plus it came with this little spin thing, and this also glows. There's a little fox or cat. But yeah, this thing is, I think it looks awesome. I don't know who did the customization. I just think it looks sick. I think it's one of my favorites when it comes to design. And I just don't think there's anything that really looks like this out there. Because I have like all these other custom ones, but yeah, I think it's a really cool design. The one thing with this is that I use a Pelican usually to store, so I can't really store it with the lanyard, but I don't really want to take it off. I don't even know if I can, because if you see here, there's like this access point. But yeah, anyways, I have to pop off of this thing, but it is what it is. But yeah, so here's the color Zerk. So again, the biggest thing with this one is that it just is more resistance to push, which is hard because I know some people who will genuinely like this more. I think it's a more traditional feeling when it comes to like standard rotating sliders, of like, it's a bit more snug. And it's just like there's no wiggle room at all. Like these, you can see there's some, but it's like, I would say like nothing that it's even matters. But even here, I think I mentioned in my other videos, some of the tightness can almost backfire and make it a little too snug. But it's hard because this is still really great. And I think the color Zerk looks so nice. This is one where I'm like, I don't know if I'll keep it just out of all of them. And since I like this more, it's tough. But it looks so nice with the color Zerk. But yeah. So out of that brand, I'm going to take this one. So I'm going to take one from each brand that I think is the best, and then I'll make that final call. Now we'll go to Ling, HEEDC. Ling Yuan, I don't know how to say it, sorry. What is it called? 3.0. So this is the mother of pearl. So this is that fully custom. Again, this is also UV. It's kind of weird that when you do the UV, none of the actual dragon glows, so only the outside. So when you glow it, it's just like green and then a black dragon. You can't see it. But this thing, I think I mentioned before, this one was actually tuned by the author, so the maker. And this one feels insane. I've been trying to get this to feel like this, but I don't know what he did, and I don't want to open it to mess it up. So I've been messing around with this one. This custom like outer layer, the smoothness of it is just, it feels so nice. I find the sliders feel much better when they have that actual extra design over it. This is Gold SS. This is really nice because it feels super smooth and has a really nice ping effect. But this one's almost like, how do I say it? It's a bit sloppy feeling. Like, sometimes you'll get loose, you'll lose the movement. But I also think it's fully because it doesn't have this extra, like, layer. So when you're here, it has a pretty strong ridge. And, like, I find that ridge can make it a bit uncomfortable. Not uncomfortable, but not as easy. But this one is so smooth. Like, this thing is amazing. Like, genuinely, it's so good. And that's the reason I got these two, because I was like, this thing kicks ass. And, yeah. It's still borderline of this one actually feels the best. It's really close. Oh, man, it's so hard. This is smoother. Like I said, that's my kind of thing. But this one just has something unique to it in the rotation. I don't know what they did, but it's just something about that rotation is so smooth. It feels, it's crazy. I don't know how to explain it. And this thing just has a certain pop. So I think out of the three, I choose this one. But I'll show this one. It's weird because if I could have features of one of each, it would be. So I feel like this has the best up and down, the best rotation, the least resistance to push. So it's like, I don't know what the heck is going on with the tuning. But this one has the most, this is not, most difficult rotation. But difficult is, it's not hard. But I'm just saying out of the three, it's so tough. Because this up and down is so good. Man, I don't know how to explain it. It's friggin' weird. Yeah, it's so weird. Yeah, because some reason this is smoother up and down. Because this guy tried to add a bit more of that, like, pop. But this is more ping. I don't know. It's so hard to explain without trying them. But these are really good. If you can find a good deal, I would say first bet is try this. This is super cheap on AliExpress from what I've seen. So it's like a very low risk option. So I would recommend it. But we'll use this as the throne. I'm going to take this guy. The rotation on this is just something I don't even know how to explain it. It's like, yeah, I'm just going to keep playing it. Anyways, we'll move the losers down here. They're not losers, but. So next, I only got one from this brand. That's mechanical. But the Mott Groove with the custom dragon, the golden dragon. This one has grown on me. At first in my other video, I said I think it was one of the weaker ones out of all these. Which it still is, but that's only because the standard is so high. That's the problem. This is still an amazing Like if this is the first rotating mechanical I got, I'd still be like, oh my god, this is the best slider ever. And I've had the Zerk Rabbit slider, and I would say the Zerk is better. There's something about Mott with their Zerk items that's just like superior. So it's like this, but in the groove. Yeah. The weird thing with this one is that you'll see compared to this. So watch when I go to the top. Here you get the actual impact of the, hear that like slam? Well, all these don't have that. None of these have that slam. This a little bit, but it's kind of weird because it's different, but it's also good because it adds a bit of, it makes it feel unique compared to the rest. If I only had this one and then I knew I tried that one, I think I still prefer, I don't know if I like the slam because it gives it that extra bit of volume that I don't know if I want, but it's still really good. I would say the up and down is similar to this, more resistance, but again, the rotation is really good. It's hard to explain if you haven't used these before, but sometimes if there's like a difference between the up and the rotation, it kind of can feel off. Not in a bad way, but it's weird when you notice that there's a difference in the resistance between going up and sideways. So you have to change the amount of pressure you put. Where the keyi and this one, they're very consistent. And you know, as I get to these, that's one of the things too. I find that I like it when it's not a change. So like this one, I think, like I mentioned, has the best up and down. One of the best, but then it's like a bit more tough on the outside, and it just makes you like, it makes me want to switch to another one, you know? It's not even, this is still amazing. I would really have a tough call between, yeah, so up and down, this is way better. This is like no questions asked. This is better rotation. And in my opinion, the rotation is more important. So I'm going to put the Mott up there. So now you can probably see where the last two spots are going to go. Yeah, FZEDC, FZ, whatever. So Zerkitai, this is the one I mentioned where I had so out of all the ones where I'm like, oh, I love little resistance, this is at the extreme end. So it's even easier than this. Let's see. Anyways, it's close. But the FZEDC has an extremely unique feel. You can see their plate design is actually unique. Most of them have at least one track that's standard, so that like bigger holes. See there? You can see how much more dense this is than any of them. Like, look how many things there are. So it creates this weird, almost like there's like a suction feel. It's so hard to explain. So when you reach the end, you don't get like, it's so hard to explain. But yeah, these things are insane. Yeah, these are the best out of all of them. I'll just put it right there. These are close though, I'm not gonna lie. This is still great, but if I had to do a tier, let's see. I think it's gonna go like this. And then superconductor. So basically it's the same as this, but slightly harder to push but again, this is like, if this is like a 1 out of 10 for resistance, this is like a 3. So it just gives it a bit more of a feel. They also have a smaller form factor. It's hard to show than the Mott, but they're like slightly skinnier and smaller this way. So you might think that's a bad thing, but no, I think it's actually pretty good. I know you can get custom versions of this with like the fancy stuff on these too, but I haven't done that yet. Maybe the next rotation one I'll do will be that, because I really like these. I might just go for like a cheaper material that has like the design. Man, it's really hard to tell. This is almost a tie. But I think superconductor wins the race. is just a bit more snug and it just feels a bit more premium because of like less looseness. But the looseness on here feels so good that part of me thinks it feels better at sometimes, especially with how little you have to push, and I like that. Especially for the rotation, it's like butter. But this is more feedback almost because it's harder to push. And again, harder to push, it's still easier than all the other ones, right? So it's just more than that. Yeah. Okay, so I think this is my ranking. I want that to stay, there you go. I think you could get any of these and you'll be fine, even with these. So in my opinion, you just get whatever the best deal is. Obviously 3D printing, it depends how you feel about that. I think metal is better. Obviously, I think most people would agree. From deals you can find, these are probably the best options for what you can get for cheap. But I think I mentioned that some people have had issues with these where you have to like open them up and tune them. But I'll tell you right now that I was a bit scared of opening this. These are actually quite simple. Compared to what did I open the other day? I opened this, and that's not even a bad thing that it's more complex. It's just this was much more of a pain in the ass to deal with. Like I was getting pissed off trying to contain my springs and balls, where this was pretty easy. Of just like, it's not that complicated. There's only 2 tracks, so you only got 2 balls. And then you have like this gear mechanism for the rotation. So I need to figure out, mainly with this one, I want to change the rotation. I need to figure out the best, essentially, spring and ball combination. So I didn't translate the box that it comes with, so I didn't really understand the different strengths. So I kind of just winged it. And I was just trying to do it quickly before I filmed. I got it better. I also lost one of the balls, so that was awesome. But I got it better. But yeah, it's still not as whatever this is. And I'm unable to contact the author, unfortunately, because this happened in China. And yeah, this rotation is like, this is the best. That's, okay, I don't know, man. Anyways, maybe one day I got to open this and figure out what it is and then spread the word, because this shit feels crazy. Yeah, these will probably be the best deals you can find, the HEDC. This is obviously the cheapest, and for the price of this, if you have to go for price to function, this probably wins, because this is so cheap. And it functions just as well as these, really, honestly. It's just too loud for me. These are pretty good deals. You can recharge, what's it called? Keyi. I can't remember the price of these. I still need to tune this. I still have to figure out how to get it to be looser or less resistance. I don't know. I was talking to the author and I was watching a video, but I think there's pieces he mentioned to use to make it less resistance, but I don't have those pieces. But yeah, Mott, this is just the classic, like you can't go wrong with it. To be honest, people were telling me that the TI version is shit. And obviously, I think this is really, they mainly mean in comparison to the Zerk. I would say the Zerk is better, but this is still really great. Like, it's just, the only thing that is a negative is that, like, that hard wall you hit. And it's interesting because you don't have any of the dense plates that all these have. So you lose a bit of that zipper. It's more like, instead of going, it's just more like a bam, 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 bam. Like, I don't need my sound effects, sorry. But the rotation is really great. I'll say that for sure. And I'll give Mott the one thing. This dragon design is sick. Like, these look okay. These are subjective of, like, if you really like the cat kind of thing. I definitely like the look of the Zerky type better. But I don't know how I feel about the design overall. I like cats. Like, I love cats. But it's just, yeah, interesting design. I think these look pretty sick. But this one in the basic is eh. But with the designs, it looks really awesome. Of course, the PI looks great. Also, just a shout out to these. These are magnetic rotation sliders. This is Alchemy Studio King Arthur. Just again, I'll just quickly show these, but it's not the main part of the video. I don't know if this counts. See, now, if this slid up like this, then we got an unbeatable item. So if I could get this to feel like this, with the rotation that it currently has, I think this thing wins. I'm unsure if... So I think the ball setup is the same. It's crazy. I'm in my head, I'm thinking, oh shit, could I do some crazy, like, take the plate out and put it in here? But I think the plate in the shell is one. Anyways, I was just thinking about, like, oh, I could take the Zerk plate, put it in here, and then, you know, just take all the balls out from this, put in this. That could be an interesting idea. But I ended up selling this, so I can't do that anymore. Whoops. And then, yeah, here's the mod groove and rhythm. This one I am undecided on selling yet. Someone has made an offer. Oh, I can't decide. I cannot decide. Anyways, I'm going to end it there. But again, I think this is kind of my ranking system. But honestly, it could just be the ADHD, but you've seen my videos. This shit switches every day. One day I'm all about this, and this, and this. But these are the main ones I'm going back and forth to. So out of these ones, these are the ones that kind of drop off. If I had to choose, you know, I'm going through my rotation, I'm going to go this one over this one. And this one over that. You know what I mean? So this is the next in line. Then this. This doesn't count. So that's how I'd order it. And that's just there because of 3D being not my favorite. But yeah, let me know if you have any questions. All amazing sliders. Highly recommend them. And yeah, go check them out. Yeah, take care.